I've been tracking my wardrobe for over a year now, and today I want to share with you the results. I want to share with you what I've learned over the past 400 days. So, in this video, we're going to talk about the data that I've gathered. We'll talk about what I've learned and observed, and I think this is going to be a juicy video. And at the time of writing this script, I've logged 435 outfits. I've made two videos on this subject in the past. One where I reviewed a few apps or kind of talked about how I came to select the app that I selected and what I learned in about a 3-4 week period. And then I made an update last summer after 6 months. This video is the year in review. I started tracking my outfits in earnest in March in anticipation of the weather changing for spring. Every year I feel this strong urge, this strong pull to shop. I did hope that tracking would curb that desire, but I really wanted to learn more about my wardrobe and how I wear clothes. In the first video I made on this, I felt like I was having a can't see the forest for the trees kind of moment where you have so much good stuff, but you just can't fully, or you're just not in a moment where you can acknowledge how much great stuff you have. I plan to track my wardrobe for a month. That was it. It was going to be a month-long experiment. That was the only expectation I had, but turned out I love doing it enough. I've done it and maintained it for over a year and continue to, see myself using it for the foreseeable future. Now, the app I use is A-Closet. This video is not a review of A-Closet, nor is this a recommendation or me suggesting or encouraging you to get this specific app. The app is free for your first 100 items. And if you have more than that, then you would need to pay. I say this because you're going to see screenshots and the data that I've received is, hinged or built on A-Closet. I also chose it over other apps. I'm bringing this up to say that you do not need this app in order to track your wardrobe. Wearing is one of the best free options on the market, and it'll get you 90% and do a lot of the things that I've mentioned in this video and potentially help you learn about your closet and style your clothes. So let's get into the details. We'll talk about the stats first, and I have a lot of information here. So the total number of items I have in my wardrobe are 184. This is comprised of 54.1% tops, 17.3% bottoms, 10.8% shoes, 5.4% outerwear, 4.3% skirts, dresses, 2.7%, bags, 1.6%. I want to note a couple things about this information. There are a few things that are not included in here. My winter jacket and my winter boots, and I have not included them in here because they are not fashion items, they are utility items. I have one winter jacket that I wear. It's not 100% of the time, but it's majority of the time. I have one nice jacket that I can wear in winter that is specifically for nice events. And when I wear that, I log that. Same with the winter boots. I wear them specifically when it snows. And one of the things that this has taught me is if I have something that is strictly utility, or I have one of, I don't log my sunglasses. I have one pair of sunglasses, If I only have one thing, or if it is 100% utility and I'm not ever attempting to style it in fashion purposes, I have not included it. I also have a special occasion dress that's a very highly special occasion that is not in here. It's a formal dress that I plan to keep in my closet for decades, hopefully. And it's not going in here because it's not being styled, and nor do I really have the chance to wear it except being invited to a specific event. So onto some more breakdowns. One of my goals for 2025 and also in 2024 was to own more clothes from secondhand and sustainable brands. So at the beginning of 2024, before that goal was even considered, my stats were under 30% for this category. As of the filming of this video, my wardrobe is comprised of 41%. Majority of those are from the secondhand realm and not the sustainable realm. And I overall have fairly strict ratings on this, or how I qualify it. As an example, a brand like Sézane, some people consider them sustainable. And while at one point I did, I would consider them more sustainable than an average brand. However, I would not personally qualify them as a sustainable brand. I think a lot of people, they'll just see like, oh, they're B Corp, they're sustainable. No, man, B Corp is it's a certification system that I feel like does more, what's the word, like, it's not greenwashing. It's not just the eco-friendliness, but it does like sustainable washing, in my opinion. 51% of my garments are new, and about 8% is gifts. So I cataloged my clothes at the very beginning of 2024, before I really even made a purchase of clothes. So this is data that is nearly a year and a half in the making. So over a year and a half, the composition of my wardrobe has changed about 11%. And I just feel like this is confirmation that I'm going in the right direction. My goal is to have majority of my clothes in the sustainability realm. You know, I've said numbers in the past, like 60 or 70 or 80%. I want to just keep going in that direction and opt for secondhand first when possible. We're going to move on now to color and season. And first with color, my top color that I own the most garments in is black. 20% of my wardrobe is black. 47 items are black. And majority of these things are all black or like majority black. There are some things like a white and black striped skirt, faux like snake print items. So I do think it's interesting as well. Like if you see me on this channel, I don't know that you would necessarily say, oh, she wears a lot of black, but I do actually wear a lot of black off camera. And when I pick clothes to wear, I will go back and I'll look at my videos. I'll look at what I wore in the past few videos. Sometimes like I'll really want to wear the same top, and I don't want to wear things too close together in videos, because if let's say I post a video on Monday with this top and then on Sunday I wear it again, I have no problem in real life doing that. But just in terms of thumbnails, sometimes it can give the impression that, oh, I've already seen this video when it's a new video. So I'm more conscious of that for thumbnails. But when it comes to offline, I'll wear like the same shirt like 3 days in a row or like 3 times in a week. That's not really a big deal. My next two colors are tied for second place. They are both at 12%, and that's white and beige. Oh, this one, hold on. This one is, this is green. It's not beige. Wish there was a light green. I'm gonna take off the beige. Does that change anything? How are you still, girl, you're not beige, dude. Yes, okay, here we go. White is now on top, 12%, beige is 11.6. The thing about the beige is it's a wider selection of items. I'm gonna show you a screenshot. There are things in here that I'd probably classify more as cream, and then other things that are more like camel maybe. Oh, okay. The shirt and this t-shirt are both classified as beige. Very similar colors. This one is like, it's called like a heathered oat. It's not white, and I wouldn't call it cream either. Very light beige maybe. So I think this one is just it's a wider variety of colors. Not a lot of entirely white items. A lot of things that are partially white and things that have white stripes on them. Or like, as an example, this green H&M skirt that has white flowers is classified as white because there's white in it. I just think that's interesting because the black has far more things that are true black, all black, than the other color categories. Seasonal breakdown of my clothes. 30.3% are for spring, 27.2% for fall, summer 23.9%, and winter 18.7%. And so how they do this is, let's say I have this top, okay? I can classify it as all seasons or 2 seasons, or, as many as I want. So very few things are truly 1 season. Most things will span multiple seasons. That is why winter is the smallest season, is because there are like a lot of my clothes, one of my personal goals is to have a clothing item work for 2 seasons or more. but that is not always possible, nor is that always ideal. Like if you have a pair of shorts, I need to own shorts. I don't think I could live in this climate without owning at least one pair of shorts. That is a strictly summer item. So it makes sense for my transitional pieces, or the transitional season, sorry, to have the highest amount, and then the true seasons to have lower amounts. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought that the summer would have the lowest amount opposed to winter, but it didn't shake down that way, which is fine. It also, I feel like, kind of validates a little bit about how I've been feeling, is that I shop a lot, or I'm the most enticed to shop for spring. And you can see that here. So now we're going to kind of get more into usage insight. A fun little aside or tidbit is that my two top brands are H&M and Dynamite. Third would be Everlane. This doesn't surprise me. At first, when I saw H&M come up, I was a little bit surprised, because I wouldn't say that, oh, I love H&M or I love their clothes, but I do buy quite a bit of H&M on the secondhand marketplace. Kind of same with Dynamite. I really like Dynamite stuff. And people also will give me stuff from there. And these are brands that I know my sizes in. So if I'm flipping through a rack and I see something Dynamite, I would probably pull it up. The Aritzia brands I think would probably be here as well. But because there's Sunday Best and there's Wilfred and Wilfred Free and Babaton, I own quite a bit from those brands, but they're not, because they're all kind of separate labels. They're not being, and I haven't marked them as all being Aritzia. I've marked them as being from Babaton or whatever. I do believe that that brand, or those Aritzia brands, are probably would be in the top 3 to 5. I do own a lot from those brands. And one of the reasons why as well is I think out of all the brands, I love Aritzia clothes the most on the secondhand marketplace, because they tend to be, not always, they tend to be higher quality than stuff from H&M or Dynamite, but they're readily accessible on the secondhand marketplace. And they will remake the same clothes year in, year out. So that's one of the stores where I'll go in and I'll try on some bodysuits and then bought some on the secondhand marketplace. And so that is a store that I tend to know my size in as well. And I like their clothes, and they're also readily available in secondhand marketplaces. And you can search for specific stuff. I found this dress probably 3 years ago, this orangey floral dress that I've been really loving and I really wanted, and I was able to find it on the secondhand marketplace, and it was in great condition too. I also find Aritzia new to be in a lot of cases overpriced for what you get. So I'm such a big proponent of them on the secondhand marketplace. Let's not talk about most worn items. This is an interesting conversation, I think. My most worn item is a pair of Zara jeans. I've worn them 85 times. My second most worn is a hoodie, black hoodie. And then of the top 5, the next 3 are jeans. This makes sense that my most worn items, 4 of the 5, are pants. Given that I have 53% of my wardrobe as tops, that is insane. That is stupid. That's a stupid amount of tops. And when I say, in a recent video, when I was talking about stuff I have no business buying, when I said I don't need another top, yeah, it's because my wardrobe is 54 fucking percent tops. I don't need another top. Girl, be so for real. My most worn layering piece is 75 times, which is that sweater I was telling you about. My most worn top is 42 times, and it's my 9th worn item. And then when we go in the top 10, so the top 4 of the top 5 are jeans, and then items 6, 7, 8, and 10 are sweatshirts, which makes sense because I do have a selection of sweatshirts. Most of these are worn year round, which is why they're kind of in the top category. And I also don't own a ton of them. Or I guess I should say I own more tops than layering pieces. So the less you own of something, the more you wear it. I honestly thought, like, after making 400 outfits, I thought that my wears would be higher. I really thought that I would have at least one thing in the 100 wears space. But when I think about how I actually wear my clothes, you know what? This is getting into my closet utilization now, and so I'll save this for just a second. My closet utilization is 84%. Now, on paper, I think that's pretty good, but I have mixed feelings about this. Some of this comes down to my own tracking. There are some items that are in my closet, but for whatever reason, I just never tracked that I wore them. Like, I have this Kate Spade dress. I have pictures of myself in this dress, like from the last year, that I just never logged. I think I forgot. I don't know. Same with some pants and some shoes. I am terrible at logging shoes. There are some things that the app is telling me I haven't worn when I have, in fact, worn that item and multiple times. I also have items that are counted as worn, but they are not really worn. And I think this happens to a lot of people. And this logging really kind of shows me where these items are. Okay, let me get to this. I'll show you some examples. And tracking my outfits really helps me understand, or it's helping me understand, where the bloating is in the wardrobe. There are things that I could conceivably get rid of and have very little impact on my overall wardrobe. Like, there are things that I would not actively go out and replace, and probably would not miss if they were gone, which begs the question, why do I own it? Here's this Saison top. I paid a lot of money for this top. I paid a stupid amount of money for this top that I don't wear. I am having a hard time with this top because I romanticize about wearing it, and I'll wear it a few times in the fall. It says I've worn this once, which is not true. I have worn this top longer or more times after this year, or before this year and a half, or I guess over the lifetime of owning it. I've worn it more than 3 times. The point I'm trying to make is that I don't think I would really notice if this top was gone, but I can't get rid of it. In my mind, my twisted little mind, I'm like, oh, I could wear it for this, or I like having the option. This is something that when I pull out my summer clothes, I'm probably going to move that into my like little declutter quarantine. And then come fall, if I don't actually see myself wearing it, then I'll try and sell it at that point. I think that's what I'm going to do. I have a bunch of stuff like this, and it's like honestly like pulling teeth to get me to do something about it, either to wear it or to style it or to declutter it or like test declutter it, because I just don't want to get rid of it. I'm attached to some things that I don't wear, and not even in like I'm not sentimental about it. I will keep sentimental stuff, and I'm very much okay with that. And so this exercise has let me know which of these items are like falling into that category. There are also like a secondary type of item, which are things I'm actively considering decluttering after I've observed that I have not worn them. As an example, there is this blue trumpet sleeve top that I got a couple years ago, secondhand. It was originally from Zara, and I loved it when I first got it, but I brought it out when I brought out my spring stuff. Hate it on me right now. You could not get me to wear it, and I like had this visceral reaction, like, oh my god, I hate this. So I packed it away into my little quarantine bin. I don't like to jump on decluttering stuff because always, without fail, within 1 year, I will pull something out. I'll claw something back from my declutter bin. This white ruffle sleeve top that I wore in a couple videos. I also was talking with these blue tartan pants, and many of y'all said I should wear that top with the tartan pants. I tried it out and loved it. That top was one that was in my declutter bin for a year because I like couldn't stand the sight of it and hated it. Just needed to like be away for a second, and then it gains new life. So this blue top might be one such item. Time is going to tell. I also realized after this past season that there is this color block turtleneck, or it's not a full turtleneck, it's like maybe more of a mock neck, that has been in my wardrobe since about 2016, was previously a favorite item of mine, but I did not wear it at all this year. It's oversized and it's like kind of baggy. The material has not really held up over the years, doesn't look that great, and it's itchy. So that is also one, but like both of those things are things that I could declutter and probably like wouldn't replace, like my wardrobe would be fine without them. But um I'm not like hesitant about it. It's, as I was saying, as a realization I made after finishing the season and looking at what I worn, of looking what I've worn and haven't worn, and then be like, yeah, maybe these are things that should or could be decluttered, and they're moved into that bin. We'll see in time. To kind of go back to what I was saying about the um my expectation or hopes really about how often I would wear clothes, I was disappointed that I didn't reach anything at 100 wears. But when I look at the actual clothes that I wear, it does make sense. So let me give you a couple of examples. In the wintertime, I have 4 long sleeve t-shirts, and I wear those. Like, those are the first things I pull out of my wardrobe, or like when you do your washing or in a new week, Monday through Thursday, unless I'm like repeating an outfit or repeating a top, but just for the example, Monday through Thursday, each day I'll wear one of those. And once those run out, I'll wear a t-shirt. So if winter is approximately 4 months long, 16 weeks, and I wear these once a week, that's 16 weeks of wear that I am prioritizing these items over t-shirts. So overall, even though I have a bigger selection of t-shirts, those t-shirts are only being worn 3 days instead of 7 days. I have tank tops. Similar story there, that I'm going to probably go for the tank tops more, or like my crop tops more, that I bring out specifically for end of spring time, like probably end of May, beginning of June, that kind of time. And we'll wear those most. And then if it's a colder day, go for a t-shirt. So even though a t-shirt could be worn 365 days of the year, a good 6 to 7 months of the year, they're not actively the thing that I'm prioritizing wearing. So they're not going to be worn literally every week, and they're going to be in heavy rotation more times than others. Pants as well. Like, I have pants that I can wear all year round, but if I have fewer and they're all kind of getting in heavy rotation, and then also when it comes to seasonal shift, like I have these yellow pants I love wearing in spring, summer. Some of the ones that I might be wearing throughout the year, again, are going to be worn less. So not everything is going to be worn 100 times or come close to that, given the seasonality, but also the quantity of items I own. Let's now talk more about what I've learned. There are a couple of really interesting observations that I didn't quite foresee when I started making this, when I started logging my clothes. The first is that I pigeonhole clothes into distinct uses and seasons. One example are the long sleeve t-shirts. I exclusively wear those for winter in place of a t-shirt. Come, like, literally, and today it's very mild. What is it reading right now? It is currently reading 19 degrees. It is warm enough to wear one of my long sleeve tees, either alone or maybe layer it underneath like a button down or something like that. But I don't, because in my mind, I've just pigeonholed them as these are the winter t-shirts. The issue isn't the item or that it's not functional, because I have some great items that I really like and that fit well, but I don't wear them outside of this like single use I've assigned to them because of how I've personally classified them. I say that I want a versatile wardrobe and that I want my garments to kind of do double duty. And I do own things that don't do that because I've purchased them 6 years ago or 7 years ago. Like this top, this sweater, I personally would not buy it today, not because the quality is bad, but because the use case is just way too narrow and I want things to be more functional. But I like this top and I'm going to own it while I have it. Like that's the case with some things, but not everything. And it's my own classification of items that is holding me back. Or I guess I don't want to say holding me back, but it's preventing this versatility that I've stipulated that I want and desire. Because if your clothes are versatile, you can wear them more and you can own fewer things. And so, what I've decided to do is to move some things around to make some of those items more upfront. But I also am now experimenting with writing some notes about like putting them up on my closet, which ones are my like the ones I want to prioritize, or like giving myself outfit ideas. I'm experimenting with that to try and increase some of the versatility. Number 2, which is the it's so dumb. I wear things I actively dislike. Do you do this? Or please tell me I'm not the only one. I wear clothes that make me feel bad about myself, which is so stupid because I don't have to do this. I could actively choose to not combine things in a specific way or to move something like a sweatshirt. I could move it into activewear, or I don't have to wear it literally every other week. I don't have to do that. So there are days where I put on outfits and I look at myself in the mirror and I feel bad about my body, or I feel like I have zero style, or I look bad in this outfit. And because I look bad in the outfit, I feel like it says something about me, like I'm not stylish or whatever. A few months ago, I recognized this, but I didn't really know like what exactly the problem was. Like, is it this piece? Is it this combination? Are there like other things I could do about it? Or like, is it just my perception? But things were really solidified about 2 weeks ago when earlier in the day, I was wearing a tight fitting pair of pants and a crop top. That I had to go out later and that outfit was not appropriate for the situation I was going to. So I changed. And I changed into a version of an outfit I wear all the time. Directly, like from going directly from outfit A to outfit B, it was like, like a light bulb went off in my head where I went, oh my God, the reason why I don't like the way I look in this or I feel so bad. Well, first of all, I realized that like on those days, I wasn't just like feeling down or not having the best day. It was like my appearance was affecting my mood. But the reason why I was feeling bad about this was the overall fit, the style, the silhouette. Like it was baggy and the clothes were not fitting. I have two of the same sweatshirts that are long on me and they're not super big, but I often wear them with like a baggier style pant. So they're long and they're not like so much shape and the whole outfit is not doing me any favors. And yeah, you're allowed to wear baggy outfits or clothes that you don't see your body, and like I'm 100% allowed to do that and I feel comfortable in that sometimes, but I don't like that to be what I wear all the time, yet I'm wearing that kind of outfit all of the time. This comes to like the third realization is I wear outfits because of habit, not because of preference. Because I know that this thing goes with this thing, or I've just historically put this thing with this thing. I just keep wearing it. This is actually the most interesting because it offers a really easy solution. If I am habitually putting this top with this bottom and I'm selecting this thing, not because of preference or like, simply because of habit, you can rewrite new habits. I can create new pairings. And if I like the way I look in something, that encourages me more. So that offers a solution that I'm kind of excited about, or that I'm like tinkering with now, as well as like some of my tops. I've pigeonholed, as I mentioned previously, into like specific wear, specific seasons. I'm not always aware that I've done this, but now that I'm on the lookout for it, I'm able to interrogate my clothes more. And so one of the things that I've done is I moved those two sweatshirts that I hate seeing myself in and I put them in activewear. They don't necessarily need to stay there, but because they're out of my closet, I can't just go and like easily reach for them, which is helping to break the habit of putting things together I don't like. Doesn't mean I can't wear them, but I replaced one of them. I replaced two of them with activewear sweaters that I thought that I would like more. One of them I hated just as much. The other one I like far more. So I think like that's a good option. And then maybe in a couple of weeks, once I've like trained myself out of that habit, I could bring one of them back and see kind of how it goes. And this is where the wardrobe tracking has really been interesting because you would think that, oh, you're wearing this thing a lot, you must really like it. And I think this is where something like wears, if we're too over reliant on how much we're wearing something, it can make us or give a perception that we like something. But it's been very clear in my case that wearing something doesn't mean you like it. And this has been a really interesting question to ask myself when I'm looking at outfits. Am I wearing this because I like it, or am I wearing it because it's easy? Because I've been doing this for over a year now, it's been really interesting to see in the moments that I've been more interested in fashion and the ones that I've been less, and the moments that I've been less interested in fashion, I'll just get dressed. And that is when I'll put on those autopilot outfits, which is like, those are sometimes nice to have. They are. But if you're doing that for weeks or months and you don't like the autopilot outfit, that's not great. And so one of the questions that I've been asking myself lately is, what would I like to wear today? Or what would feel good about, like, what would I feel good about wearing today? Or what would I feel good in today? And I did as well actively choose to wear garments that had low wear counts to wear them more, which is a great sentiment. But if you don't actually like wearing that item, I have questions about that. I don't want to say like, oh, that item is useless. Some of I have 4 long sleeve tops, as I mentioned. 2 of them are kind of baggy. Don't love wearing them, except layered under a garment, like basically strictly layering pieces. So do they have utility? Yes, 100%. And if they aren't getting that much wears, I would happily wear them in the winter to bump up their wear and to continue to get use out of them because they're super functional. But doing that in the spring and summer where I would see them and look at them and be like, oh, I don't like the way I look in them is not great. And so I've come to see how some of my habits are maybe good for some things, but not all. And I think I have contradictory things at play where I want to have a more versatile wardrobe, but I'm not wearing my clothes in a versatile way. Or I have clothes that I purchased many years ago that I still would like to keep and wear on occasion, even if it's not that much. Or I want to wear my clothes more, but don't like the way that I look in some of those clothes and don't enjoy wearing them, which affects how I feel about myself. Like there are lots of nuances in my wardrobe that I just never fully. And so a lot of things have come to light that I didn't expect when I first started tracking my wardrobe. And at first it was kind of exciting because I was learning a lot of the like raw data, the basics, like, oh, I have this many tops, or my wardrobe is comprised of this many things. But then when you get into actually how you're wearing clothes, there are much more nuances than I expected. To conclude this segment or to conclude this video, I would like to say that I'm still learning, and I love that. And I really I like learning, as I've mentioned on the channel so many times, because it gives you knowledge. It gives you things to act on, right? I learned that I have some conflicting views and actions or juxtapositions in my wardrobe. I can do something about that. I can do something about not liking clothes that I wear. The answer isn't always buy something or get rid of something either. There's so much experimentation that can happen with our clothes. Not wearing as much of your closet as you hoped for, or wearing things as much as you like, that's still useful data. And then I get to experiment with solutions, which I love. Right now I'm in the experimenting phase. I think that's fun. I also get to observe, or what I've observed is why things work and don't work, or why things are like why certain categories may be bloated. One example are my thin knits, not this one, but like a fine knit sweater. Those for me, I own in black, maroon, and gray. I also own a striped one. The one I wear the most is the striped one. The weight of the knit is most worn in spring and very early fall, but the colors are much more fall winter. So I'm very likely not going to wear a maroon knit in the fall time. In the springtime. It's not going to happen. I'm going to wear that in the wintertime, but it's not heavy enough to wear in the wintertime. A really great observation, also kind of something happens similarly with shoes. I have these Mary Janes. I love a Mary Jane, but I don't wear them because they are a black velvet, which is not something that I will be wearing in fall winter. A Mary Jane shoe is much more of a spring shoe. I have kind of waffled on what to do with some of these pieces and have opted to keep them in because I wear them from time to time and I like having them, but then there's bloat there. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm still like, yeah, it's been a year, but how we act in our wardrobes doesn't have to be immediate. And I think a lot of social media and maybe even our cultural moment really pushes this like act now narrative. And also you can solve your problems by decluttering and buying when figuring out your wardrobe is totally fine. That it takes time to figure out, takes time to experiment. Maybe you do get rid of some stuff. Maybe you try it in a quarantine bin, or maybe you do buy something, but you do it slowly. Things don't need to be fast and they don't need to happen now in order to make progress. And I just feel like, I mean, those things are not like it's not satisfying to watch somebody very slowly learn things over time. That's not like a sexy video to watch, but it's much more practical and I think much more fitting of like an actual solution to people's lives. That makes sense? So I feel particularly empowered by this data. And this time last year, like spring, summer, I was more so in the let me wear my clothes kind of thing. Like I just want to wear my stuff more. I appreciate that like that was where I was in that moment. But now I don't want to just wear my clothes for the sake of bumping up wears. I now am much more in the experimentation mode and figuring out more, or like I have this knowledge here. Now I'm more in the let's do something with it, as I've already kind of highlighted. And I think that's a fun moment for now as well. So that's everything for me today. I'd love to know if you track your wardrobe, and if you do, what are some things that you've learned about it? Thank you so much for watching and being here, and I hope to see you again around here soon for a new video.